First off, my lovelies, for those of you that do not know me, or you found me on TikTok, or you found me on Twitter, or whatever, and you just haven't seen the breadth of my work, my name is Sean Engel. I'm the owner of Witchy Wisdoms, which is the online platform that is a spiritual base. I do both brand strategy. I do branding for different businesses and just influencers in general. And I'm also a spiritual mentor and a professional witch. I'm a published author 3 times over, although my 3rd book is being delayed until next year, which is a bit of a bummer due to the coronavirus, but we are going to get into that when we talk about adaptation. So I have been working on my platform and scaling it and all that good stuff for just about 4 years now, and have really learned the ins and outs of social media and the importance of branding, and that is what I bring to my client base. I work mainly with women that are in their 20 to 30s, people that are just so passionate about spirituality, or just bringing creativity and art in whatever capacity that means to them to a larger audience. And I help them brand, I help them gain exposure, I help them launch things effectively, whether that be collections or coaching programs or whatever. And really, I help with a really hands-on approach, and we talk about mindset all the time. And I think that mindset is absolutely one of the most important things that we need right now. So that is me. We have seen a lot of astrologers lately talking about Saturn in Aquarius. So when we're talking about outer planets like Saturn, these are like big, giant planets that bring with them cultural shifts, because they don't change signs very often. They're not like Mercury that goes retrograde every 3 times every year. It's not like the moon that's constantly spinning in a circle. These are huge thematic changes that bring with it something big, you know? And Saturn, being the taskmaster of the zodiac, being kind of the daddy who is laying down the law, shifting into Aquarius, which is the sign of the collective and social justice, from Capricorn, which is all about success and, you know, corporate climbing and possibly greed, really has us as business owners shifting our values. Rather than chasing the dollar, now we're asked to do what's best for the collective, for our community. And it's really just having us highlight where our business values are at this time, which is excellent. This is not something to be afraid of. Sometimes we need to get checked and put back into why we're here in the first place. So it's a fact that we are in a global recession right now. It just is. But we're going to practice radical acceptance. And so in between being terrified of what your next step is and feeling guilt over charging for your services, we're going to take our power back. And this is what I'm going to teach you in this masterclass. We're going to give you 5 things that are really going to help you with this. So just a little aside, I have been talking to a ton of my clients on this topic. So we've been talking about the difference between charging and taking. There's a lot of fear right now, and a lot of people feeling that they need to give everything away for free. And I do not think this is the time to devalue yourself. I think that giving back to your community by creating free masterclasses or free offers is great. But I don't think that you should take your standing services, your standing goods, and discount them to nothing, because you're not helping anyone and you're not helping yourself when you do that. People still see value in the gifts that you have. And in order to, it's going to help them support you, and it's going to help them understand that this is still a valuable exchange. And whenever you are charging somebody for your services or your goods, you're never taking from them. You are giving them something back. Whenever you give a reading, a tarot reading, people will leave with something to digest and to think on and to really sit with. If you cut someone's hair, they're leaving with not only a new haircut, but a new sense of self. When you are selling someone clothing, you're not taking their money, you're giving them like a way to feel good in their skin. I mean, there's so many ways that you can see the actual exchange of value. And so this is why I just want to stress at this time, do not devalue yourself. Yes, giving back, wonderful, but do not just completely slash all of your prices, because it also hurts the industry as well. And we're in a global recession. No one can afford that right now. So basically, to tie it up, we're going to learn how to adapt to now and lead from a place of service so that you can provide for your community and put food on the table. So let's get into it. All right, so let me just check and see if anybody else is popping on. Participants. Okay, I think we're good. Good. Sick. All right, so first things first. Step 1. If you are not already, you need to get online. Also, if you don't have a pen and paper, please grab it. Grab a pen and paper right now because I'm going to be spitting a lot of value at you. You're also going to be getting this video as a replay in your email, so you can always revisit it that way. I'm probably going to post it to YouTube because I think it's just that good. But make sure that you're writing down notes so that if you get any kind of intuitive downloads while I'm speaking, you can visit them and just do it. So, got to get online. If you're not online, if your business is not online, if you don't have a website, you have to get online. That's just the way that we're interacting at this point. So you can still take your in-person services, but you have to contextualize them for an online platform now. So for one, offering a form of your services online. So no, you can't give someone a haircut online, but you can create tutorials. You can sell hair cutting kits. You can, if you're a stylist, you can give consultations and style people from their wardrobe. You can virtually tour your store and say, hey, this would work with this, would work with this. So whatever your in-person service is, put it online. For most of spiritual workers, it's easier, right? So tarot reading, Reiki, all can be done online. But just make sure that you're taking whatever you are giving to people, whatever your services are, and you are contextualizing it for an online space. You got to think outside the box here. This is not going to be like the easiest answer for some of us. You have to be able to think outside the box and see how your community who desperately needs your service can access you. The second way that you can do this is by teaching classes. So again, if we're using these in-person examples like hair cutting and styling, or like, you know, vintage styling or whatever, if you're creating an online forum such as this, you have a entrance fee and you're able to teach people what the elements of styling are, or how to cut their own hair, or you know, how to read tarot or whatever. People are looking for content right now, and they desperately need an escape or a way to like think about something else other than impending doom. You know, you need to give them an outlet. And remember, when you're leading from that place of service and you're like, okay, well, I have this thing that people want, I need to give it to them and show up for them, it changes the narrative. And then number 3, for getting online, you can take on mentees. You can also, so if you don't already have an online shop, if you are just like totally retail, you need to convert to online, start taking photos of your inventory and get online like ASAP. But if you want to take it a step further, taking on mentees, like showing people, let's say you're an esthetician, and I know that there are degrees and things that you have to get in order to successfully be an esthetician also, so I'm not saying like, yeah, you can just like fast track somebody through it, but I am saying showing them the business side or showing them certain techniques that you use might help to supplement your income and then also give back to your community. You can do this for stylists as well. You can do this for really anything. Anyone can work in a one-on-one relationship. And I think we forget as business owners how much we know and how much value we actually have. And that mentees can learn from us, because we think about ourselves when we first started our business and how much we wish we knew. And those are the people that you can help the most. So consider taking on mentees. That will help supplement your income as well. But you can do it all online. So getting booking systems and all that, which we'll touch on in a minute. So, already out of breath. I'm gonna take a sip of my smoothie. Okay, so number 2, we have being really visible. Now, this is pretty difficult as well, especially because there's a lot of fear in just everywhere right now. So coupled with the fear of being visible online is stifling, and I understand that. However, this is the time to rise and build community. This is when you need to get in front of your audience as the face of your business and as the face of your brand and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, because you are going to empower people and uplift them by being on camera. They need to see your face. They're looking for an outlet. Be that outlet. The first way you can do this is on Instagram. Everyone is getting on lives these days, everyone and their mother. You can do that. You can get on IGTV and do one of the things that we discussed previously, like teaching a class or pitching a mentorship, creating segments on your Instagram. If you don't have a curated Instagram, you should just be doing that now. Start with a curated Instagram. What I mean by curated is not a personal account. You are using this for business, so it should reflect your brand. And it should reflect your mission. And we're going to get into that as well. So Instagram, build it, push it, get on there. Number 2, if you have free time, TikTok. Gotta get on TikTok. I can't stress enough, and I've been talking about this until my face is turned blue. I've done a challenge. I have a course. TikTok is where it's at. It is so incredible the amount of growth and exposure you can get. So if you don't have a ton of followers on Instagram that are going to be able to hop from retail to online, you can start getting that exposure on TikTok. No, it is not just a bunch of kids doing dancing. It is everything. It's eye doctors, it's psychiatrists, it's stylists, it's witches, it's everything. It's everything. Nutritionists. As long as you understand how to contextualize your brand, if you get onto TikTok, I promise you will get new eyes on your stuff. And then number 3, if you don't have a mailing list, get one. Your email list is amazing because your email list belongs to you. Your TikTok following and your Instagram belongs to those platforms, unfortunately. So if they ever go out of style or down, they don't mean much. So your mailing list is something that belongs to you. This is the way that you can reach your client base. So either start building it by adding value and giving your clients or customers things. And when I say value, I don't necessarily mean coupons. I mean like things that they might enjoy. So again, we'll use the stylist example, pardon me, giving them an outfit of the day to wear when you work from home so you don't feel like, a schlub. Because it's real, if we wake up and all we do is stay in pajamas for 5 days, we're going to start to feel depressed. It's just natural. But doing that via your mailing list helps to get directly into your client's inbox. But that's an extremely important thing that you should be building as a business owner, just step 1. Like it should be mailing list. It actually should be website then mailing list. So make sure that you are doing that. Okay. Woo. I am like going really fast. If you guys need me to slow down at all, just let me know. Sorry, I'm gonna flip my nose ring. Yeah, okay, we're looking good. Participants are still good. Cool. Okay, so number 3 of 5, we are powering through this because I think I only have a 40-minute time limit on Zoom anyways. But number 3, streamlined processes. This is going to make it so much easier for you and your clients because, first of all, this is true for whatever state the world is in. But now that emotions are really tense and people get frustrated at the drop of a hat, you need to make things really streamlined so that you don't run into any like weird anxiety. There's no reason to bring angst into your door. Just if you make things streamlined for everybody, it would be much easier. How many times have you tried to book a reservation on Yelp or book anything online and it didn't work out and you got frustrated and just didn't go through with it? Like you took that as the sign, like, oh, well, it wasn't meant to be. Don't let that happen to you. This is the time to really work on the back end of your business and make sure that all of your processes are streamlined. First way you can do that, and this is more of a personal one, but create a schedule and stick to it. Just because you're working from home doesn't mean you're not working. So make sure that you have, from morning to whenever you want to clock out, you have something that you can adhere to so that you don't fall into either, a state of non-productivity or even depression. If you're just all over the place like this, it's hard to follow for yourself. So the best way to do it is to really just clock, like, okay, from this hour to this hour, I'm writing down in my schedule that I am going to create a website. And from this hour to this hour, I'm going to insert whatever. But really, if you're creating a schedule for yourself, this is definitely going to help you stick to it. And added bonus, it's going to help you take your business more seriously and have others take your business more seriously. It's almost like you're creating boundaries around sacred time for your business, like it's its own deity. Number 2, make websites and landing pages. These are non-negotiables. If you are a business owner and you don't have a website, what are you doing? You need to give someone somewhere to go. Even if it's as simple as like a, hey, contact here. You need a website. WordPress, Squarespace, they have free options that you can start building, but you need a website. And when I say landing pages, what I mean is, for example, this masterclass, I had you go somewhere and put your email in, and that directed you here. That way I didn't have to go and respond to every single one of you and give you the Zoom link. That would have been exhausting. There's no way that I would have been able to do that. So I eliminated the exhaustion, I eliminated the frustration, and I got it directly to you in a streamlined fashion, and boom, here we go. And then finally, getting a booking system. So this is, and I think that we're all going to shift towards some sort of a service base during this entire time, because yes, you know, I think working in retail is fantastic and having an online shop is amazing. And if you can keep up with that without having a physical space and workers and shipments and all of that, then hell yeah, like more power to you. But if you're offering services like the ones that I mentioned previously, like, you know, taking on mentees or creating classes or whatever, you're going to need a booking system. And again, this is the way that you kind of eliminate that exhaustion. You don't want to have to DM or respond to every single person that comes into your DMs or your emails. Instead, you want to direct them to a place where they can do it themselves. And my favorite website is Acuity. That's ACUITY. That's what I use, and it's amazing. People just boop, click, done. It's fantastic. So yeah, Streamline Processes. That is number 3. So we're still doing good. I'm so surprised that there were like 100 people that signed up for this class. I just want to make sure we're still doing good. All right, replay it is. Okay. So powering on. Now, numbers 4 and 5, I think are the most important, personally. Everything else, I think, it's extremely important as well, but I also think it's things that are no-brainers that you should be doing anyways. Number 4 and 5, they're like the most important, like, pinnacles of everything that you need to be doing right now. So number 4 is you have to have an identifiable brand. This means setting yourself apart and being a leader. And how you can do this is take your personality and give it an outfit. So I'm a branding strategist. I work within personal brands. I help people to identify themselves in a lens that is recognizable to other people. That's what a brand is when they see something like that, they're like, oh, witchy wisdoms. You know what I mean? So, and this is beyond a color palette. You know, my brand colors, yes, black, white, pink. People see that, they know. But you definitely want to give it some sort of a sassy personality too, whatever that means to you. And that's really what I work with my clients, like extracting who they are and giving that an identity. So identifiable brand. The first way you do this is give your brand key elements. So what are the things that you do? For me, witchcraft, branding, writer, tarot reader. So these are things that I can constantly lean on. These are things that that are aligned with the Witchy Wisdoms brand. They're part of it. That's who I am. So if I take a photo with any of those key elements, it still looks like it's within the context of what I've given to the public. You also want to be giving your brand key colors. As I said, black, white, pink, those are excellent to adhere to. And then that way you can put it on your website. Everything just looks clean. It looks streamlined. It looks professional. But then number 3, and this is the most important over all of them, is giving your brand a voice, and that's yours. That's your authentic voice. That's something, that's a message that you can carry, that only you can carry. And it needs to be empowered right now. You know, if you are, let's say your niche is seniors, like you're teaching seniors tech or something, your brand has the voice of speaking up for people that aren't necessarily on technology but need to be. Your brand is empowering. Your brand is aware of social justice. Like these are things that you need to link your brand to, because yes, you can have the colors, you can have the tarot, that's great, but if people can't hear the vigor in your voice and the passion in your voice when you speak about your brand, it really doesn't mean a lot. It kind of means nothing. You know, if we think about, I think one of the people that's most branded right now is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You know, she has glasses, but she's young and fierce and female and strong, and like, you know her message when you hear it. You're like, oh, that's her. That's what you want to start thinking about your brand in that context. You want to be like, okay, what defines me with my own authentic passion? So branding, it's important. It's one of the most important things in this day and age, because you also have to understand too, aside from the having to adapt to online spaces, give it a week, people are going to have too many options. They're going to be overloaded. So why do they want to work with you? Why do they want to go to you? Your brand, your personality, what you can offer. It's your brand. So make sure that you stick that in your mind, that you need to develop a really, really sick ass brand. Okay, and then before I run out of breath completely, it's a pretty short masterclass though, I will say, so it's not too bad. I'll take a sip of my smoothie first and keep you in suspense. All right, so number 5, a positive mindset. So mindset is so crucial right now. And I've even noticed, I'll be vulnerable with you guys for a second, how much my anxiety has responded to everything that's going on. It's almost like a hair trigger lately, like everything gives me anxiety. And so I go to my arsenal of tools and make sure that I know how to combat that and make sure that I feel comfortable and safe, because to me, my biggest value is safety. I need to feel safe. So understanding how my responses are, especially as a business owner and somebody that is visible all the time, you know, what's triggering that and how to take a step back, heal myself, and then come back even stronger. And that's what we really need to focus on right now, positive mindset, because how are you going to get up and be a leader for people if you're not okay? You know, you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to take care of number 1. So make sure that even after this masterclass, if you have time, take a bath, do some self-care, do a face mask, whatever you need to do. But you know, self-care is not just pampering. It's also, like I said, paying attention to your anxieties. So the first thing that I want you to do in terms of positive mindset, practice abundant thinking. Yes, we are in tough times. Yes, there is a global recession. So it seems extremely weird to be like, oh yeah, abundant thinking. But that's thinking in lack. Just because there is a lack of money going around right now doesn't mean there is an abundance of other things. There is an abundance of opportunity for you to show up strong as hell for your community. There is an abundance of people who you can help. There is an abundance of healing that we can do, an abundance of time. I mean, if we shift focus to the abundance and remember that Saturn to the collective, we can really step into our power and remember who we are, because abundance doesn't just have to be money. And I understand, like, I know there are people out there right now that are just like, okay, well, you know, rent is due in 5 days and I'm freaking out. And I get it. And I'm not trying to invalidate the fact that like shit is scary right now and money is really tight and real. But we can't let it consume us, because at this point it is what it is. Rent's due in 5 days, it's due in 5 days. So you hustle, you pick yourself up from your bootstraps, and you try to think as abundantly as you possibly can. Number 2, and I kind of touched on this previously, but thinking from service. Now, this requires an exercise, so make sure you jot this down for later, but I want you to think about your business mission statement. Now, if you're not familiar with what this is, if you didn't go to business school, never heard about a mission statement before, it's literally just a blurb that says what your business is seeking out to do. And it's a very powerful exercise when you are a self-preneur or solopreneur, whatever you call that. Why do you want to help people? Why do you want to dress people in vintage clothes? Why do you want to put makeup on people? Why do you want to do any of it? Remember why you want to do it. Think from service. Like, oh, well, I put makeup on people so they can feel beautiful and they can get in touch with glamour and they can feel empowered and they can, you know, whatever the reasons are, remember that beauty and remember the reason why you were attracted to it in the first place, because that attraction to it is so needed right now. That should not be thrown out the window. It should not be thrown out the window. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, I guess I wasn't meant to do this because of coronavirus. No, this is your challenge. This is when we need it the most. So get into your business mission statement. Think from service. Remember why you wanted to do this in the first place. And then finally, number 3 for positive mindset, take breaks. The world is not on your shoulders and it's all about balance. So yes, while I gave you a buck ton to do, you don't have to do it all. You can take breaks. Like I said, when my anxiety is a hair trigger, I put my phone away. I put it away at like usually 5, but now 7 today. I'm putting it away. I am not touching it because I don't need to be consumed with any more information for the day. I'm done. And you are allowed that. You're allowed to sleep all day on Saturday or whatever day you want. But you have to remember balance is key. You're put on this earth to do the thing. So do it because people need you to do it. So that is all for me as far as the 5 things. But now I have a really special offer for you. And you guys are the first ones to hear it, especially since you're live and there aren't other people here. So you get a really, really cool sneak peek. But I'm reopening up my one-on-one because I feel like I'm called to do this. Like I feel like people need me right now in order to help them shine their light. And my one-on-one fills up really fucking quickly like this. I only let 4 people in at a time. And this particular round of one-on-one, I'm being really, really, really selective because I only want to help people that I can truly help, but also I only want to help people that I feel aligned to help, that I feel like I believe in, and that I feel like, I don't know, I want to help certain types of people do the thing that they were meant to do. And being selective is help because I can see talent in people and I can see passion, and I'm only accepting the most driven, the most passionate people out there because I know that we can make magic together. And right now, I don't feel like sacrificing any of that time. I want to put my value where it's worth. So I'm putting in the chat box right now. Oops, there we go. Putting in the chat box, this is the link that you can get to sign up for a one-on-one consultation with me. This is totally free. You and I would hop in on the phone. We would talk for a short while about what it is that you do, how I can help you, and see if you're a good fit for the program. Not everybody is, and sometimes we're not, but this is why that one-on-one call exists, because it's more of an interview process. So take that link and copy it down. I would love to start interviewing this week for people to be in my mentorship. But since this is being recorded and I'm also going to be posting on YouTube and for everyone at a later date, if you guys have questions now, I would love to answer them. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to put anything in the chat box that you want, and I will answer for you because I know I just threw a ton of stuff at you. Whew. Okay. Oh. I just got spinach on my keyboard. That's how things are doing over here in my self-quarantine. Also, I hope everyone is doing well. All right, so I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes. If we don't have questions, that's fine too, but I just wanna make sure that if you do, they do get answered. Now I know the song that they're playing. All right, well. Would you suggest offering stuff on Instagram with payment and contact info in the meantime? I don't have my scheduler fully set up and working right now. Oh, okay. So yeah, obviously, like if you're working on it, then absolutely you can give people that in lieu of the streamlined booking processes. But the point of it is that you should be working on it, and that should be a priority now. It should be a priority to get those up and running so that then you can have them totally streamlined and ready to go. Yeah, you can totally do that. But again, like if we're leaning on professionalism and as a like online tech company, you got to work on your scheduler. Get it set up, give it to people, because it should be the least of your worries to have to like figure out payment and send people stuff. You know, and also I think too, people are really, really afraid right now about where their money is going. So if it looks suspect in any way, it might not go through. So you want things to feel like a company. You want to represent yourself as a company. So I highly urge that becomes priority number one. But yes, of course, in the meantime, do what you need to do.